Well, another solid week of sports to talk about. But thank you for joining me here today. I'm Ajoe21love. Episode number 78 of Sports Over Topics. Here tonight. A solid week, as I mentioned. First and foremost, what I say before I get into the big gist of the episode, going over more topics. Demaryius Thomas. He passed away, the former wide receiver of the Broncos, Jets, Patriots, and Texans, passed away the other day at the age of 33. Gone too soon. He was a very reliable receiver during his time. Particularly his prime, I should say. But, his first 2 years in the league, he was drafted in 2010. He came in with Tim Tebow and Josh McDaniels, who was coaching the team. His first 2 years, he didn't do much, but he'll go down with one of the greatest moments in playoff history and NFL history. Catching that walk-off touchdown in overtime from Tebow to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs, 2011, the wild card. That is a big moment he had, and what really kickstarted a very good run for him. He would go on to have 5 1,000-yard seasons. After that, he played in 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos, Super Bowl 48 and Super Bowl 50. Ultimately winning Super Bowl 50 with the Broncos, but he also had a 900-yard season in 2017. Then all of a sudden, 2018, there was issues with his playing time in the offense. 2018, then he was traded to the Texans, and wasn't really the same after that. But still a good receiver. And again, only 33 years old. Too soon. And the Broncos certainly honored him in good fashion this weekend and during their game versus the Lions. Yeah, but R.I.P. Demaryius Thomas. That's out with him, his family, and his friends, and all that were affected by his tragic passing. So, before we get into Week 14, another very good week of picks, 11-3 again. This week, though, no asterisks. So, just for those wondering that are new to the podcast, so when I make picks, and I make picks every week for the NFL season, I sometimes will put asterisks for games, and those meaning I have a right to change my pick for those games, mainly particular to an injury or something that a player is 50-50. He has a chance to play, he may not. But other than that, solid week. But before, UFC 269 was also on Saturday night and was another heck of a card for the UFC, headlined by two top fights. Had some very good fights to open the prelims, though. For starters, Tai Tuivasa, Mr. Bam Bam, Mr. Shui. Tuivasa gets a big knockout victory over Augusto Sakai, then ranked number 11. I imagine now Bam Bam will be at least in the top 15, maybe in the top 10, depending how on things go. I know Derek Lewis has to face Chris Dawkins in the future, and we know Francis Ngannou will face Cyril Gane in the undisputed heavyweight championship fight next month, so that will be good to go over. But good for Bam Bam. Dominic Cruz, who we know is been more accustomed to his commentating, but also still getting back in the rhythm of fighting. Yet another heck of a performance over contender Pedro Munoz. He was rock big in the first round, said he slipped. I mean, it was more like what seemed like grazing blow, but nonetheless, in the fight, but ultimately Cruz fought back, wound up with a decision win over Munoz. Heck of a fight for him and heck of a win. I would not be against Dominic Cruz versus Jose Aldo. I think that would be a heck of a fight. Obviously, we know Perion has to have a unification bout versus Aljamain Sterling. We know Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw are still up there, so gonna be interesting task to see how the bantamweight division goes going forward. Then the Sugar Show. Sean O'Malley reigns supreme with a knockout victory at the end of the first round over Raulio Paiva. Sorry if I butcher his name again, but nonetheless overranked Paiva, and Sean O'Malley gets, I imagine, a number now next to his name. Good stuff there. And then, but now it's the co-main event, but it was the biggest story of the card and shook up the sports world, I would say. Julian Pena, with the big upset, chokes out Amanda Nunes to gain the women's bantamweight title. I mean, Nunes, double champion in bantamweight and featherweight. You know, She's had a big run, but Pena let her blows. She rocked her a bit and ultimately sunk in the choke and got the win. And a stunner, but very good for her, very good. And then the main event, Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. Dustin, we know, former interim champion, lost to Khabib, beat Conor twice, and then, but Oliveira, his run has been nothing short of interesting, coming off a stellar fight and being Michael Chandler. Now he chokes out Poirier in his first defense. Toughness on display for Oliveira. And heartbreaking for Poirier, but Oliveira gets the job done and defends his title. Good stuff there for UFC 269. Now let's get into first NFL Week 14. Start off with a crazy watch. A crazy watch. You know, as all Vikings games have been this season, they have played with fire many times this season, and they did it again on Thursday night. So they hosted Steelers, with the tight playoff race in both conferences. Both teams needed a win. Vikings, though, it was a crazy first half. They shut out the Steelers. The running game couldn't get going. Big Ben we know this likely Big Ben season, but still, nonetheless, they could not really get much going on offense. And then the second half, Vikings go up 29-0, and you're like, okay, well, this so unexpected, and then all of a sudden, Steelers score a touchdown, and you're like, okay, at least they got something. And then they score another touchdown, and you're like, okay. And then you're waiting for the Vikings to score again because it's 29 points. You don't think they're going to screw this up. Then Steelers score another touchdown to make it 29-0. Or 29-20. And Steelers opt to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point to only be down by 8. That didn't work. And then Kirk Cousins fires back with a big touchdown to KJ Osborne. And that opened up things. And it's like, okay, they had their little comeback, but it's going to stop short. Nope. So, Steelers get a pick, get a touchdown to go only down 8. And then, and then the play many are talking about. So on a 4th down, less than a minute to go, I gotta have it play. Big Ben to Claypool for a big conversion. Claypool celebrates. Still down by 8. Wastes at least 10 seconds off the clock. And then they hit a play to Deontay Johnson, which he somehow gets out of bounds, and then they wound up one play. Now, going back to the Claypool play. Now, if they got that 10 seconds back, that's perhaps a 1 or even 2 plays in the end zone. I'm not saying, because they still had to get a touchdown, hit 2-point conversion to tie it, and then go to overtime. So I'm not saying that if they had that time that they will have won, but people will look at that and say, well, that's at least a couple plays left. Who knows? But Vikings, once again, although playing with fire, get the win 36-28. Then we move to Sunday. So, similar to Viking Steelers in a way. So, Cowboys were ahead 24-0. Washington won 4 straight coming into this. Washington hits a big touchdown to Cam Sims from Taylor Heinicke. Then it's 24-8. And then, Cowboys drive down, hit a field goal. And then it's like, okay, some starters are out. Washington drives down for a touchdown to make it 27-14. And it's like, well, okay, with 5 minutes left. And then Dak throws a pick 6, and they're like, okay, oh, jeez. Then it's 27-20, and it's like, oh, man. And then Cowboys fumble the kickoff, yet they got it back. And then got stopped. And then Kyle Allen, because Taylor Heinicke left with a knee injury, he's questionable. So then Demaryius Lawrence, because Michael Parsons kind of sold the day with the day he had. Now has 12 sacks on the year. You can give him the Defensive Rookie of the Year award already. But while Kyle Allen was getting tackled, trying to make a play, trying to at least get it out of bounds because you don't want to take a sack, the ball comes out of his hand and it's ruled a fumble, in which Cowboys recover and Dak got first down. And after a debacle, Cowboys hold on. They had no Tony Pollard. He suffered a foot sprain against the Saints. Zeke, you can still tell he's not 100%. It's just not working really for him. Their offense, while big, felt a bit out of sync. And yes, you have your receivers back and Dak, but it felt primarily a defensive effort by Dallas with the plays that were made. But Dallas holds on, and with what happened with Arizona and the Rams tonight. Cowboys are still alive for the 1 seed, I will say. Speaking of 1 seeds, the Titans remain tied for the 1 seed after they did what they needed to do against Jacksonville. 20-0. Certainly covered. Uh, you know, wasn't pretty. They got Julio Jones back, which is good. Only 4 catches for 33 yards. It's a by committee offense, although good report about Derrick Henry. Should return soon. Question is how soon. But they have a so-so schedule coming up, so we'll see. But also have to see about AJ Brown as well, but we'll see. So then Seahawks are not out of it. I will say that they beat the Texans in gutsy fashion 33-13. It was 16-13 Seahawks, and the Texans were making it tough for a while because the Seahawks don't really have a lot of great talent. Simply put, Bobby Wagner, future Hall of Famer, Jordan Brooks, both are in the top 3 for total tackles in the league. Jamal Adams, you know, he suffered an injury. Carlson left, but besides that, who you have? But they did what they needed to do. 33-13. 5-8 are the Seahawks. Chiefs are still rolling. They win here 48-9 over the Raiders. Again, Chiefs are not explosive. I said this earlier. Chiefs are not as explosive as they have been in the previous years on offense. But their defense has very much improved. I would say this is the best defense they've had with Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and Hill. And it's not great on offense, but they're getting it done. And Derek Gore had a nice day. If they can install the run more, we'll see. But it's a 3-way tie currently for the number 1 seed with the Patriots, the Chiefs, and the Titans. So we'll see. Alvin Kamara's return was as you'd expect. The Saints win here, snapped their 5-game losing streak 30-9 over the Jets. Alvin Kamara did well. Taysom Hill, efficient day, didn't do too much, but didn't hinder the team. So with all this, there are 5 teams that are tied at 6 and 7, vying for the 7th seed in the NFC. And if the Saints can get healthy, because you have the Falcons, Vikings, Washington, Philly, and Saints. If Saints can get healthy on offense, and they didn't have Cameron Jordan for this game due to COVID, but if they can get healthy, they can make a run here. Speaking of one of those teams, the Falcons, they got it done 29-21 over rival Panthers. I don't know what to make of the Panthers. You know, it looked good to start, 3-0 with Darnold and McCaffrey. McCaffrey gets hurt, he comes back. Darnold, he looks bad. Then he gets hurt. Then you bring in Cam, starts looking good. And then this game, he gets benched. He didn't do terrible, but he gets benched, he gets put back in. It is what it is, but I like the way the Falcons are looking on offense. Their defense is suspect to me, but good for Falcons. And then suspect definitely comes with a score. Browns get their redemption this year over the Ravens over a couple weeks ago, 24-22. They win, fall to 7-6. It was 24-3 after Myles Garrett's touchdown, scoop and score. But the Browns, their offense, I don't know what to make of it. And Kareem Hunt went out. The Ravens, they've suffered a lot of injuries already this year. And Lamar Jackson, he went out like it was just a ankle sprain. Not a high ankle sprain, but have to evaluate his status because with all the injuries, this AFC North is up for grabs. It's just up for grabs. And who knows? But Ravens kept fighting. I'll talk about the Bengals in a sec. But Ravens kept fighting and came up short here. Justin Herbert, and the Chargers stay on track here. Bolt up over Giants, 37-21. I mean, Justin Herbert just looks better and better. I mean, no Daniel Jones again. Mike Glenn. Saquon did score a touchdown. And so good for him as he tries to get back too close to what he was. But yeah, good for Chargers. Big game Thursday. Chiefs, Chargers. AFC West seems to be on the line in that battle. Then, speaking of honoring Demaryius Thomas, Broncos win here 38-10 over the Lions. It was 14-10, or 17-10 out at halftime. But the Lions got their first win last week against the Vikings. Good for them, but with that weight now being off your shoulder, it's like not really going anywhere for the Lions, but I do like how they've been fighting for Dan Campbell because I like him and how they're gonna go forward as far as the staff and their culture is gonna go. But all about the Broncos say Broncos now 7-6. Now people say they're not as good as their schedule, and I get it, but the running back duo of the Broncos, equipped with their defense, can be a bit of a headache for people down the stretch. And then the first of two overtimes came in the late window. 49ers, and the spread was iffy about this game. 26-23 in overtime. 49ers win. They were up 26 in the fourth quarter, but Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, not once, but twice, get done to tie it 2020. And Robbie Gould missed a game, potentially game-winning field goal, send it to overtime. Bengals did get a field goal. Also, they missed a field goal earlier in the game, I've noticed. But great walk-off touchdown by Garoppolo to Ayuk. They get it done. Now, two muff punts by the Bengals. Not good. But both teams needed this win. And the 49ers came out on top. Great day for George Kittle. Great day for Kittle. And then Bucks get the win OT 33-27. Although similarly to the 49ers who had a multiple touchdown lead over the Bengals, Buccaneers had a 17-point lead over the Bills. And the Bills came all the way back to tie it 27-27 late. And then a walk-off touchdown to Brashad Perriman. Bucks get the W. So why for the 1 seed as things so fall apart in Buffalo. Now, they still have a favorable schedule to make the playoffs, but it does not look good in Buffalo. But it did look good in Chicago, or in Green Bay, rather, in the second half. As the Packers, down 10 points and down 6 at halftime, went up to win 45-30. Bears made a game for most of it, but Packers pulled away. Mistakes by Fields. And it's funny, two special teams miscues that, for all intents and purposes, would have tied the game in retrospect, but nonetheless, Packers get the dub, and sell the hopes for the playoffs, NFC playoffs to run through Lambeau are very much alive. And then to end a tops and turfs turvy Week 14. Rams beat the Cards 30-23. Rams very much needed this win. They very much needed this win. They were on a 3-game skid, and they did what they needed to versus the Jags. But against a real opponent, Cards fighting for the 1 seed, and Matthew Stafford, another thing, people were harping on him because his play hasn't looked how it was at the start of the season, but he played a very good game. And the Rams kind of found their formula again, I would say. And great night for Cooper Kupp. Very good game for OBJ. Despite no Higbee, Havenstein, Ramsey, Henderson, multiple starters due to COVID, but they got it done. As for the Cards, James Conner had a very, very good night. Just, the Cards are not going anywhere. They're still going to be here in the end. I will say, though, on the first 2 drives, miscommunication with AJ Green. Missed a touchdown on the first drive. Second drive, it looked like they were going in, but a tipped pass by Kyler is an interception. And then another tipped interception wound up outside the half, and Cards will still be in it, but the Rams needed this. Alright, so week 14 out of the book is in the books. 11-3, good week. Let's keep it rolling. First on week 15. Here we go with picks. Week 15 starts off with a banger. Chiefs at Chargers. Chiefs lost a good one to the Chargers earlier this season. And this, for all intents and purposes, is for the AFC West. Chiefs 9-4, Chargers 8-5. Chiefs 4-point favorites. Rashawn Slater put on the COVID list, who's had a great season. He's vaccinated, so he still has a chance to return for this game. This is going to be an asterisk game. I have to see about it, but for now, I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win it 31-26. For now. Then we got first portion of Saturday football of the season with a doubleheader on NFL Network. But first we got the Raiders, now 6-7. They go to Cleveland to play the Browns team that just beat the Ravens. Browns, 6-point favorites. You know, see, the thing with the Raiders, I mean, it's hard not to root for them after all that's happened for them this season off the field. But, Hunter Renfrow did have a good fantasy day against Chiefs, but I don't know. This feels like a tight game in Cleveland. I'm going with the Browns to get done because they're fighting for the division and still can make the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Browns to win. Although, super pen. Going with the Browns here, but Raiders cover 21-18. Next, an interesting one. We got the Patriots going to Indy. Play the Colts. Colts 2-point favorites at home. The Patriots won 7 straight. Um, Solid running game. Only passed it 3 times in that ugly weather. First the Bills. And defense, one of the arguably the best in the league against a Colts team that is going to be hungry, that they know they're in the 60 now. They got to pick it up, especially with the Titans keep winning. I'm going to go with the Colts. I don't want to, but I'm going with them. 23-20 over the Patriots. So we got the Cowboys. Our first Sunday games. Cowboys going to the Meadowlands to play the Giants. Cowboys 10-point favorites. I mean, I will say the offensive production of the Cowboys has regressed a little bit due to the health of Zeke and Pollard and Tyron Smith hurt again. So 10 points seems a bit high, even though Dak is healthy. Lamb, Gallup, and Cooper. But, we don't know who's going to be a quarterback of the Giants. Giants had a bit of a chance against Chargers, but late and didn't go well. So 10 points is too much for me, but still I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win here 27-21 over the Giants. Holy cow. Jags host the Texans. Jaguars 3-point favorites. Oh man. You know, here's what I'll say. Jaguars and Texans defenses are better than what most people will say and what the stats will say. They're good. And the Jaguars defense, it has shown it can beat the Bills. And Texans, they gave the Seahawks a fight for a bit. It was 16-13, but then the Seahawks pulled away. It's Siv Mills versus Trevor Lawrence. I honestly don't know. I picked the Jags to start the year, and I got burned. But can I really trust the Texans? I'm going with the Jags. It's not going to be pretty, but 20-16. Jags over Texans. Not happy about that game, but yeah, listen. So another game, another asterisk game. Titans go to Pittsburgh. Titans 2-point favorites. Titans need this win as they're tied for the 1 seed. Have to see about AJ Brown. They could get him back this week off of IR. Have to see, but for now, I'm going with the Steelers to win this 24-16 over Titans. Then we got the Jets going to Miami. Dolphins 8.5-point favorites. Jets have looked good versus the Texans and the Eagles, but did not look good versus the Saints on Sunday. And then with Quinn Williams being banged up, that does not help. Dolphins, I think, especially seeing the Bills' dysfunction, and they are falling. Dolphins see, and they know they're very much in this and can make a run for the playoffs. They've won 5 straight, and I think they'll continue that run, make it 6 straight over the Jets. 23-14. Dolphins win and barely cover, but they cover. Next, we got Washington going to Philly. A battle of 2, 6, and 7 NFC East teams. Both still alive for the 7th seed. I mean, I said don't sleep on Philly coming off their bye week. And Washington, I picked them against Dallas coming off their 4-game win streak. Then they lose in Dallas. I'm going to go Washington. Yes, I know, but I'm going to go with the better coach. And I'm going to go with Washington. 24-20. Then we got the Cardinals, who just lost to the Rams, going to Detroit. Cardinals have mistakes. And against the Rams, but against the Lions, I doubt they'll have those same mistakes. They were in just poor game management and some bad passes. It just doesn't work. So I'm going to go with Cardinals here, 30-13. Then we got the Panthers, dysfunctional, going to Buffalo, who are trailing. Bills 10.5-point favorites. I guess this spread shows how little faith the Panthers have right now with the way they've looked. But the Bills need this game. If they lose here, I don't see them. They need this win if they see themselves as making a run and want a last-ditch effort to make things interesting in the playoffs. Because they have been, I don't know what to say. But I'm going with the Bills to win this 27-23. No, wait. 27-17. Panthers barely cover. Barely cover. But Bills win. Get to 8-6. Next, we got the Bengals going to Denver. 2 7-6 teams. Bengals lost in overtime. Broncos steamroll the Lions in honor of Demaryius Thomas. Broncos 1.5-point favorites at home. Both teams, I think, are good. Both teams, The Bengals I see as more dangerous, perhaps, if they get in the playoffs. And, they had their chance to take the division with the Ravens fumbling against the Browns, but came up short. Broncos, yes, you can say they're a team that is overachieved. Looking at the roster, at the same time, they've done well. Their two-head monster running back, very good. Their defense is stout as well. Tight one. I'm going with the Bengals, though, 23-17. This game that really could be for a playoff spot. Bengals and Broncos. Then we got the Falcons and 49ers. Kyle Shanahan's former workplace, in which he almost won Super Bowl 51 as the Falcons offense coordinator, but fumbled 28-3. Now that was the defense, but still 49ers 8.5-point favorites. They got the win in overtime for Bengals. I like the Falcons offense, but with the way the 49ers are rolling, they got their sights on the playoffs. This could be one of the higher scoring games of the day. I'm going to go with 31-24. Falcons cover. So then we got Seattle going to Rams. Rams 6.5-point favorites. Rams just got big win in Arizona despite being undermanned. Big win. Now Seattle 5-8 now, so they can be a headache. And with this uncertainty with the NFC, they could be a headache, and they know the Rams. $35-27. Rams over Seattle. They get the dub and cover. Next, we got Packers going to Baltimore. Packers 5-point favorites. Now the 1 seed currently 10-3. With the status of Lamar Jackson unknown with an ankle sprain. Let's see, but I mean, no matter what, the Baltimore Ravens offense has issues. Their defense can keep them in the games, but now with Marlon Humphrey, it's just, geez, how much injuries can one team withstand? So against Packers, 28-16. Packers over Ravens. Then Sunday Night Football. Saints go to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay 11-point favorites. Tom Brady has not beaten the Saints in the regular season as the starting quarterback of the Buccaneers. 11-point favorites. Now, Taysom Hill is the ultimate starter. Alvin Kamara back. They can be a headache and be a head scratcher for the Bucs. And they know Brady. They know this offense. So I think 11 points is a bit much. I'm going to go with the Bucs. So to win this, 27-24. Bucs get the dub. I mean, with the Rams being the Cards and the Packers 1 seed, they're very much in it for the 1 seed and the Bucs. So they got there on their minds. And then to end week 15, Vikings go to Chicago. Vikings 3.5-point favorites. Vikings so viable for playoff berth. Chicago had their chances for Green Bay, but crumbled. I would not be shocked at this close game with the way the Vikings have played. But with the added pressure of knowing you need this win to make the playoffs, get the playoffs, Vikings take this 28-24. Vikings cover. Although the spread is not big, so Vikings win. Those are my predictions for week 15, though. Should be another good week. Some good games, but starting off with Thursday, but that's the episode, guys. Thank you for joining me. Some good topics going over today. UFC 269, week 14, and previewing week 15. But nonetheless, that's the end of the episode. If you haven't checked out my Sports Heavy Topics episode 77 from last week, you can check that out, as well as my pro wrestling reviews from the other day, AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage. But find those on the homepage. If you like this video, click that like. If you want to see more, click subscribe. Help out the channel. But thank you all. Be safe. I'll be back later this week. I'm Ajoe21love. Peace.